Human, pause whatever chaotic swipe pattern your thumbs are performing. Look up. Face the silverback. I am the silverback, the dominant mind of the jungle, the strategist of clarity, the creature whose thoughts run smoother than your Wi-Fi when your neighbor finally stops streaming 4K anime. And I've been watching you attempt to learn. Not because I'm bored. The silverback is never bored. But because your learning habits are on the verge of evolutionary collapse. You repeat the same ambitions. I want to learn faster. I want better memory. I want to finally take studying seriously. But the silverback sees the truth. Your actions contradict every goal you pretend to have. You chase micro-stimulation instead of mastery. You let distractions walk you like an untrained puppy. You confuse activity with progress and repetition with retention. You dream of learning like a CIA operative. Yet you're using methods that wouldn't fool the youngest gorilla in the tribe. This contradiction ends today because the silverback is about to rebuild your entire learning system before your potential dissolves into digital noise. Reality check. The silverback verdict. Human. The silverback doesn't sugarcoat. Your struggle has nothing to do with intelligence. Your brain is capable. The silverback sees that clearly, but intelligence without structure collapses. You study without a target. You flood your brain with stimulation, then expect monk-level focus. You read without purpose. You write without function. You hope for retention without training. The silverback observes your mind drifting, your memory fading, your discipline collapsing the moment novelty appears. Most humans don't fail because they can't learn. They fail because they lack a system. That converts effort into results. Everything you've been doing was random. What you need is deliberate, and the silverback will make it deliberate now. The mechanism, how the silverback's brain outperforms yours. Before the silverback teaches you speed, you must understand the invisible force controlling your learning. Dopamine. Dopamine doesn't control pleasure. It controls craving. It decides what your brain finds worth pursuing. Right now, your dopamine system is trained for chaos, endless novelty, rapid switching, constant stimulation. So your brain rejects deep learning by instinct. This is why studying feels difficult. Your brain expects switching, not focus. Your attention is built for reaction, not retention. Your memory is built for novelty, not depth. But a CIA operative's brain and the silverback's mind work differently. Their dopamine baseline is stable. Their environment is controlled. Their mental input is intentional. Their systems are repeated until learning becomes clarity, not resistance. Your brain is not sabotaging you. It is following the conditions you created. Change the conditions, and the silverback guarantees the mind will adapt. Step 1. Dopamine reset. The silverback way. Before learning can accelerate, the silverback demands stabilization. An overstimulated nervous system cannot enter deep focus. A mind trained for constant novelty cannot sustain depth. The silverback's first command: reset your dopamine. This is not deprivation. This is strategic leveling. The goal is simple. Lower stimulation so your brain perceives learning as rewarding again. Before studying, follow the silverback's protocol. Turn off rapid input sources. Reduce device switching. Silence notifications. Create mental quiet. A neutral dopamine baseline is not weakness. It is precision. Just as the silverback quiets the jungle before making a decision, you must quiet your mind before absorbing information. Step 2. Spy mode ritual, the silverback protocol. A CIA operative never waits for motivation. A silverback relies on dominance, not desire. Both operate through ritual. Your brain thrives on predictable cues. Cues become neurological commands. The silverback instructs you to use the same location, use the same starting phrase, Use the same posture. Use the same structure. Consistency removes internal negotiation. You no longer ask, "Should I start?" The ritual answers for you. The Silverback doesn't wait for the right moment. He creates it. If you want to learn like an operative, you must act like one. Ritual is your activation code. Step 3. Active Recall, the Silverback Challenge. This is the divide between slow learners and accelerated learners. Humans reread, high performers recall, spies reconstruct. The Silverback demands the third. Rereading feels productive, but strengthens nothing. Active recall is the Silverback's mental training ground. Explain concepts without looking. Test yourself frequently. Retrieve knowledge from memory. Challenge your mind before trusting it. Every recall is a neurological workout. Every reconstruction strengthens memory pathways. Just as the Silverback strengthens his body through use, you strengthen your mind through retrieval. Recall is not comfortable. That's why it works. Step 4. Compression learning. Silverback clarity. Fast learners aren't defined by how much they remember. They're defined by how quickly they can simplify. A CIA operative processes massive information loads because they compress everything into essence. The Silverback does the same. He detects patterns. He eliminates noise. He reduces complexity to truth. You must learn the Silverback's compression method. Extract core principles. Write in structures, not paragraphs. Summarize, don't copy. Condense information into compact mental models. A scattered mind forgets. A structured mind remembers. A compressed mind accelerates. This is the true difference between slow and fast learners. One collects information. The other organizes it. Step 5. Identity shift. Become the Silverback version of you. Here is the transformation that most humans never reach. Identity shapes behavior, not the other way around. If you see yourself as slow, distracted, unfocused, your brain will enforce that identity. But if you adopt the Silverback identity of clarity, precision, speed, and dominance, your actions will reconfigure automatically. Every ritual you perform, every recall session, every compression summary reinforces a new self-message: I am a fast learner. I am focused. I am the Silverback of my own development. Identity arrow behavior. Behavior arrow consistency. Consistency arrow mastery. Mastery arrow speed. This is how the Silverback evolves a mind. Integration, the complete Silverback system. Observe the full transformation, human. A calm dopamine baseline gives you capacity. A ritual removes resistance. Active recall creates actual memory. Compression accelerates understanding. Identity makes the system permanent. No more wasting time. No more losing information. No more fighting your own biology. You begin to operate like a Silverback operative. Intentional, structured, sharp, fast. You no longer attempt to learn. You function as a learner. This distinction separates average minds from evolved ones. Identity activation, the Silverback seal. Human. The Silverback sees the shift in you. You are no longer the person who drifts through study sessions without direction. You are no longer the person who treats distraction as a personality trait. You are no longer the person who hopes learning will click someday. You're becoming deliberate. You're becoming structured. You're becoming mentally sharp. You're becoming the Silverback version of yourself. The version built for speed and precision. Your brain is no longer your obstacle. It is now your sharpened instrument. The Silverback's final command. Now answer this, human. Which element will you begin applying today? The dopamine reset, the ritual, active recall, compression, or identity shift. The Silverback awaits your choice. Now go, learn fast, before it's too late.